Good morning, family. Good morning. I'm coming to you April 28th with my weekly meeting briefings. Um, I just want to tell you guys, Brookhaven has the potential to be a region leader as well as a nation leader. But leadership does not happen by accident. It requires unity, you know, us standing together, us being as one. It should be that old cliche: united we stand, divided we fall. So we're coming to you saying the potentials that Brookhaven has to be a leader. But my focus here as trying to help us implement this leadership mindset that basically this to be a national leader, it's not about party, it's about purpose. So often we hear that concept about party. Now, I really want you guys to think about Brookhaven as being an individual place with very diverse people that want to have the best life possible for themselves. So we're here again. We want to acknowledge, basically we hear things like the previous administration, what they did. They did have a good run for us. I guess the last things they're doing for the boulevard, such as that outstanding Oak Hill community. They did things out there. So they did have things in place that we are right now implementing. So again, they did an outstanding job with things they had that we were working on. Now we're trying to finish up. But through the numbers, it showed in the last, say, 15 to 20, 15 years, 20 years, how our census attendance, I guess, population has declined. Basically, we're talking about for the decline for the overall census numbers in the last 10 to 15 years. In the last 5 years, we have been more stable. But for us, when you're talking about going back 20 years ago, we had a decline. So again, we're trying to make sure we are nationally known. Also, we make plans. We make plans not just for Brookhaven. We want to be the very best Brookhaven possible. So again, and it requires participation, it requires unity, and it requires accountability. So again, we ask you guys, please understand we're a family, and we're trying to work about what the people want to do. So again, as you have been a small business, we ask you guys, please support small businesses. I think it's important that as we grow Brookhaven, the dollar store that's in your community, it has to thrive. We need you guys to shop there and make sure that that community thrive. That I guess convenience store in your community, whether it's one, two, three, or four, needed for it to thrive. So we need all the small businesses also to thrive. Those small businesses gonna make our big businesses thrive. So again, we need unity from every phase. So again, we think the strength of our city, the building our city, is basically engagement with our communities. For our city to be stronger, our communities must be stronger. So again, that's kind of start with that unity wise. Um, right now, Brookhaven is again we're stable. Basically, we got about 1,100 and 11,550 around basically the last census. So we're stable, but at one point we had over almost 13,000. So again, we're trying to grow our population. We want more people to be here. Again, but enjoy the city. So again, that's really where we're basing it. We've got surrounding cities that basically has declined, instead of declining. But I want to commend Natchez on the rebuilding and revitalization what they've got going on though. Again, they was on decline, but they're on a rebuild mode right now. They're doing an outstanding job there. So again, we must act purposely as a leaders. We got to understand what our purpose as leaders are. We got to have a plan. So we acknowledge the past, but we're moving forward. We're not as a leader myself. I think about, again, I give credit to the people before us. I think we always give homage to the group before us. But now we're acknowledging what our plans are today and what we're planning on doing today. So that's how we see our plans. As I was on the campaign trail, one things that we hear consistent about, and you hear me speak about a lot, of basic things that our community wanted to see was better policing. Again, you hear me champion that. You're talking about for infrastructure and flood. You hear me champion that because so many people don't want their houses to be flooded, and basically that's something that you hear me talking about. Emergency access across the tracks on the east side of town. We just commended our fire department for access there. So again, those are things that we are doing based on what our community asks us to do. You know, better community transparency. You see us pushing from agendas to, I guess, meetings, um, holding people accountable. You know, so holding the whole community accountable. So basically, so I'm putting first what the people ask me to do. So these are things I heard when I was on the campaign trail, and as I speak, that's what I speak about. The people that asked me, that I felt that voted for me, or at least wanted me to represent them, those are things I'm doing. I voted highly for our new chief. He's doing an outstanding job. We're speaking highly about how to find ways to stop flood in, say, in Ward 3 and Ward 4 or Ward 6, how we incorporate other areas that was flooded. That's something that I'm going to speak a lot about coming up. Emergency um, access, because the train track, one side does not have a bridge. The east side doesn't have a bridge. So we commend our fire department as to be a part of our EMS, EMTs. That's something that we heard a lot about. So again, we just want to talk about things that we're doing or we're advocating for because of what we heard on the campaign trail. And that's how we're growing. That's how we're moving. Again, I keep thinking about for small businesses. I am truly for small businesses. I keep saying it's very important. I'm seeing that they run through some dilemmas that I think is not fair. And I can promise you, if you're trying to open a business in your community, I'm on your side. I'm for exchange and for small businesses. So again, if you run any type of problems that with the permits, whatnot, let's look over them. Let's find out what's the problem with those. If it's zoning or ordinance or whatever, please let us know. As of right now, we've got one that basically on Short Street that basically we're in the debate about. Right now we think a snowball stand. There's nothing wrong with a seasonal snowball stand. Basically, we can put things in place and let the snowball stand be functional. When we got other places in the community, people selling cars with car for sale signs on their car lots. We've got lemonade stands with not permits. So again, for a person that wants certain things, it's important that we're going to abide by all the same laws. So I ask you guys, if you're running over things or running across things that's not, you think you have questions about, please reach out to us. Again, because we really want our community to grow. We're going to be fair. We're going to make decisions based on case by case. We're not treating anybody different. Even right now with Motley Street, right now with a clean out, I'm going to debate this coming week, how we how did we ask that resident to create, I guess, to hire a plumber to cover the leakers on their end, and the plumber has went there and snaked the whole, I guess, drainage out and find no blockage, but they still have a blockage. And basically, I was there, and the clean out basically went to the streets. But now I'm hearing that in order the city to do their job, the homeowners must have a clean out in the right of way. I think there has to be some type of adjustments, or I guess, or some exceptions, because if the city needs to clean out on the right of way for them to do their job, you need to provide what you need yourself. It's not up to the homeowners to provide you a clean out to do something that's on the city behalf. When this job is going, in order to get a clean out put in a certain place, it's going to require between $500 to $2,000. So that's something we're going to debate a lot this week. And hopefully we can get it. Hopefully both these issues pass before we get to board meeting, because with the snowball stand, I think because it's zone residential, there are some exceptions because again, it's been made all along. And then with this clean out, those are both things we're fighting before we get to the courtroom. At least we're going to talk, the boardroom, that we're going to discuss a lot about before then, hopefully. Um, Again, we're on the citizen side. I was elected by the city and the citizen. So again, I ask you guys, please hold me accountable, for what I do. We definitely try to be transparent in everything we do. Also, so often citizens call us about new development, and we ask the mayor as well as our inspector, please let us know about any new developments, new business permits, or major cleanup projects. Because when you guys call us, we want to be able to tell you about what's going on. We feel like we're not representing you right when you call me and I say, I don't know. So you see, we posted this past week about a couple of new things that's going on in our city. When Popeye is going to open, when Nukes is going to open, what's being built by the Jeep store. So again, if you guys have any questions, please call me. please call me. I think that's very important that we stay engaged and stay communicating. Also, community engagement. Ward 3 has a project they finna put on about the water tower. It's important that Ward 3, you guys get out and support this. Well, again, we think if every ward has an initiative for their own ward, community make our city better and stronger. If each community is strong, our city has to be strong. So Ward 3 has some unique problems. I must say a while back we talked about how I was told Ward 3 was going to get their lights because they hadn't had lights in a long time with security. I also told Ward 3 was one of the neglected wards that went floods. Hopefully, we get those drains taken care of there. And also now, Miss Jennifer, I'm sorry, Alderwoman Tate has put on an initiative about with her water tower, want to beautify her community. So again, that's something we'll definitely be supporting. All in all, Brookhaven, our future starts with us. You know, we're stable, but now at the time, it's time for growth. It's time for us to get better. We're capable. Now is the time to act. But I understand I cannot do it alone. So we need you. So it takes all of us to work together, speak up, stand up, and unify. Brookhaven, we need you. Again, we love Brookhaven. Brookhaven strong. Brookhaven one love.